I welcome you, Vijayji. Thank you. Darshana, Raja, thank you, Deepak, for being here. Very special guest here today. You know, the youngest chief minister that I have seen in my lifetime, though technically he's the second youngest chief minister of Maharastra. Those of you who are from the US, CM is like the governor of a state like in the US here. And Amruta Fandvis, his spouse, is here with us. The CM will be joining us for a session tomorrow. So I requested Amruta ji, she has a session in the evening, she's there on a panel. But as a panelist, we only get to hear, we would hear her for 5, 7, 8 minutes. But here we have 1 hour with her. And then we can up close with her and get to know her and get to know the life and get to know the woman. That's Amruta Fandvis. Welcome, ma'am. We were just talking of miracles in this session before. So of course you've been working with Mr. Fadnavis on, in the field of politics for his campaigning and all of that. But when that moment happened, when he won, when he was selected to be the Chief Minister of Maharashtra, a very, very huge state, a very important state. Mumbai, the financial capital of India, is in Maharashtra. Did it feel like a miracle? Something which was divinely happening? Or was it something that you were expecting, anticipating, and knew that it would come because you had been working for it a very, very long time? He had been there in the sphere of social work and in the sphere of politics. Was it something that came naturally as a consequence? Or in that moment, did it feel like a miracle, like a divine miracle and a complete miraculous turn of events?
First of all, good morning to all of you. And it's a privilege to be here at All Women's Economic Forum. And being here with you, Albinji, it's a privilege for me. And regarding David, yes, I've been with him since 9 years. We've been married for 9 years now. And since the beginning, what I've seen of him, he was a taskmaster. He has worked very hard for where he is now. So it was an expectation, or we all expected that he would definitely reach great heights. But again, being a CM was again an internal juggling. So that was kind of a miracle that out of so many seniors who were already there, he was shortlisted to be in the position he is in today. And that was merely because he stood out as a spot-free person. I mean, he was never in any controversies. He was very clean. He had a clean man image. And thirdly, he was a people's man. He has been a people's man. That helped him to go ahead of the others who were already in line for that position. So miracle was the last moment, but behind it was a lot of hard work, and things fell in line because of his hard work and persistence.
Excellent. I think that answers that. Is my mic ready or should I take it back? Is my mic ready? As well? I'll take it back, okay? We'll work with one, turning the negative into the positive, my live moment for it. Amruta ji is a very different woman. Normally, in Indian politics, for those of you who are from outside, and even actually in American politics, in French politics, the moment you have this change of life, you become the chief minister of a state, you become the prime minister of a country. Life changes for the spouse. And for the moment, I can only talk of the wife. Life changes for the wife. But Amruta ji made a very unique decision. It's unparalleled. I have not seen it before. I have not heard it before. And I was very intrigued as to what went through her mind to make that choice. So first let me share with you what choice she made. So as the First Lady of Maharashtra as the spouse of the Chief Minister, your life changes. Certain new expectations come upon you. You're supposed to take a new role in society. Amruta ji was always a banker. She's the vice president at Axis Bank, and it's a very well-known bank in India, and that's what she did before her husband became the chief minister of the state. And her choice was that even after he became the chief minister, the most important top man in state politics in Maharashtra and a very, very important player in the national politics, she decided to take all that new limelight, that new greater role in her stride. At the same time, she said, I will continue with my job. That's what I have done. That's what I have worked for. And that's what I will continue to do. Unheard of. I've not seen it before. So along with me, all of us, Amruta ji, are very eager to find out, how did you come to that clear choice? Were there any moments of doubt to do or not to do? What was family around you telling you to do? How open were you to that? Were there discussions in the drawing room saying, okay, now what should Amruta be doing with this whole new life, moving to Mumbai? So what kind of thought process you went through in order to finally arrive at that decision that I will continue to be the woman that I am, and the life that I have, and the work that I do, in addition to the new role that I have?
In fact, I would like you to know that I had been working even before marriage. I was in the same bank working as a junior officer before, a deputy manager before. And immediately after marriage, I come from a background of doctor's family. And then I got married to Devin. And immediately after my marriage, in Nagpur, there was a jubilation. He was the first MLA to be married after holding this position. So that part was also overwhelming. And if I had to, I would have left the job that time. But I did not, because I have this passion for my work and I respect the way I worked. The amount of hours I've put into my work, irrespective whatever he achieves. Now he's the CM. And I'm still a senior banker now. But I respect my dignity and my hard work. So I had to continue it. I am really proud of his achievements. But at the same time, I do not want to lose on my intellectual growth or my financial independence. So that's why I decided that I would continue. And in fact, now the responsibilities are even more. Because my Saturdays, Sundays are always for all these activities which I leave behind for the week. So yes, now time management is an issue, but still I do not want to leave on my own identity. However big or small it is, I believe that we should also hold on to our respective individual identities. So that made me decide on it.
That's wonderful.
And regarding family has been supportive always. In fact, they always knew I work as per my own mind, so they don't interfere much. And they always support. My mother is also here. She would be coming anytime. And she has also been an independent woman. She's a gynecologist working till now. At 62 years of age, she's working. So I've always seen an independent mother, which made me independent. And I want my daughter to be independent too. So that is a good thing I should do for her. That her father is a CM, but mother is maintaining her job, her identity, which helps the daughter too. So all these things helped it.
Excellent. Coming to your daughter, Divija. Divija is also here. And yesterday we were there, she's learning how to swim, and it's beautiful to see, she's growing up in this environment where she has tremendous exposure, and she loves to publicly speak already. She's fond of speaking. You said one very important thing, that just like me, we have a duty and a responsibility, and I'm very proud of my husband's achievements, and I'm there with him as his complete support, but I have a life of my own, and I'm going to continue on that, and there's an independence, and also with my daughter, there's a strong emphasis that you place on value building in your child, and you're very aware that this kind of climate, environment, when you're surrounded by so many security officers, so many people in the party, so many regular people, like us, who will obviously tend to create a very special environment for your child, which will make her feel that, oh, something's of course very special in this way, but you are very careful about that. You want your child to have a normal childhood, not feel that she is something very different from other people. But the fact is that you are in an environment that is special. The limelight, you are living in the limelight, and you can't really beyond a point, the child is in that environment. So what kind of conscious effort or special things do you do to ensure that whatever your vision of upbringing is, and all that limelight doesn't affect the child in a sort of way that affects her for the rest of her life, So how do you keep it normal? How do you keep it regular? How do you keep it still middle class? How do you do that?
First of all, my own mother, that is her nani and her dadi, since we do have some shortage of time, so these two ladies really helped me out in shaping them. And she is learning all type of religion. I mean, she's learning the Bible, she's learning the Gita, she's learning Ramayana. So, and these short stories, believe me, these short fables and stories with morals really help out children to know what is right, what is wrong at this age. Secondly, whenever I'm going out, especially on Saturdays, Sundays, for social events which involve, poor children, or some patients with hospitals, just to meet them or just for such programs, I make sure that she accompanies me. So she knows what the pain is existent in the society. Thirdly, if there are guests, these are small things which I do so that she feels grounded. If there are guests at my place, and if I prefer serving them, then I make sure she also comes around with me and serves the guests and all. There are so many other things, like if she's going out and she has to buy things for her, she has to make sure she doesn't have a sibling, so she buys something for her dadi, for her nanny. So that keeps her grounded, and the feeling that they are not something like they don't have to use words like kamwali and this that. She is her didi types. So in each thing we can just try to make them feel that they are one among so many. Plus games. She's a very bad athlete. Still I make her compete with children. She loses every time. So losing is also, that also gives a good spirit. So every time she loses, I congratulate her for that. She's an artist, but not a player. But still she's always into competitions, loses, and still she's happy. So that again keeps her grounded. So there are so many small things you can do for your child, especially her grandparents. If they are around, then half your work is done. So that helps.
I think that's so beautiful. I love the part that you said about she's not as good in athletics as she is good in craft, but you push her to do that as well, and because it's important to lose, and it's important to recognize excellence in someone else. So I think that's something I have learned. I never looked at losing ever that way. Yes, you kind of make your peace with it and you accept it, but the fact that you actually consciously go out knowing that you will lose, but you still go out and lose in order to be humble about yourself and ground yourself and be able to applaud excellence in another is something I have learned today. This is really beautiful. The other thing I wanted to ask was, there must have been, while you decided to go back to work, your bosses at work would have looked at you very differently after you became, you're meeting the spouse of the chief minister of your state and you're supposed to give her orders for the day. It may have been the same for you because you were very clear about it, you had no doubt, you wanted to continue. But what about your bosses? I mean, your seniors at work, what is the change in their behavior? What is that? Do you have to go that extra mile to put them at peace? And does that peace actually happen, or they are constantly in awe of the fact that they are talking to the Chief Minister's wife every day and having to give her work? How does that work in terms of power equations at work?
In fact, my boss called me and told me that अब मैं आपको काम कैसे बताऊँ, आपको जो करना है आप करो, and don't even report to me. So I said, no, this is not done. Please be as you were before. And I am staying back because I want to lead a normal life, and if you do this to me, the whole purpose will be defeated. So I had to really convince him and really be too sincere for initial few days after he was announced CM. Then it hit him that yes, she's here to work and we can order her. And specifically in Mumbai, I took a transfer subsequently after 3 months to Mumbai. Here my bosses are really professional. They know I'm here for work. They have taken the feedback from my earlier boss. So they do not hesitate telling me about work. Yes, they do adjust some timings. At times I have some preoccupations or some commitments which they help me out. They have given me a bit of flexibility now. But otherwise, I have a project, I have to do it, and I have to report, and they are now comfortable with it.
They are actually comfortable.
They are comfortable. That's what they show, so I accept.
In addition to your work at the bank, you're there morning to evening, you're working, and then towards the weekends or whenever you can take out some time and you consciously try to do so, there are a range of other social activities that you are invested in, that you, as causes that you espouse. Recently, female feticide is something that you took up. By the way, I must tell you, she's a trained classical singer, and she recently sang a song against female feticide, and it was on air already, and it's become an anthem of sorts. So I think I'll save the singing for the last part, the concluding part. But what I just want to ask you is, how effective do you think? We always talk of, people who are in positions of power and responsible for the welfare of a large number of people, and going out, meeting the people, espousing causes, and there's a variety of causes that you espouse, so 10, 15, 20, variety. How important do you think it is, and what kind of an effect it has on the grassroots, people at the grassroots, the common man, to see you come among them? What kind of inspiration does this symbolic gesture, and even you do a lot of follow-up work for that also, but just seeing you there and standing up for that cause, what kind of a shift in mindset, what kind of an inspiration, what kind of a consciousness change does it do or not, something?
Involvement of the better half, like me, in this case, does help. Because especially the Karyakartas back in Nagpur, they have so many issues, problems. And if I'm coordinating with them for especially issues for the poor, they really feel that they are directly in touch with Devin.
They feel empowered.
They feel empowered, and they feel there are two people who are taking care of them. Whether Devin is available or not, at least I am totally reachable. Secondly, the other day I met these Bricknell children from tribal areas. So we call them at this Green Shoe Park at Malabar Hills. And I just had an informal talk with these children between the age of 4 and 12, and their aspirations and all. So one of them stood up and she said that I want to be like you. So that is what I want to do for children like them. Because these children, they look at people, may it be celebrities or the wives of politically influential people, they look at us. And this is a big responsibility. They try to emulate and follow us. So we have to try to be up to the mark, at least try to be. And when you have an image which shows that you are independent and you want things to be done your way, taking care of the family, it does impact children like these also. So these children, these Bricknell children, they are so much ambitious, but they don't have the vent. So coordinating with NGOs, different NGOs for such children, because I get to see both sides of the world. So where exactly, which world can, which set of people can help, which set of people, it becomes easier. Even there are children who are not getting treatments. I mean, they are deaf, dumb, or even children who need heart transplants. They are on the roads. They don't get people to help them. Just knowing through karyakartas and connecting to some people, all kind of people helps, because if I come to know about such people, I immediately get them connected to a big hospital and they help in sponsoring these children. So all these things, being connected itself does half the things. So I try to know the poorest of the poor and the richest of the rich, plus social organizations which are into all these things. And just connecting these over lines helps to make a lot of difference.
We are, like I was telling you yesterday, a women's group trying to connect women from all over the world so that we can do whatever we do with the spirit of connection, like you just said, feeling connected to each other, and that's a huge source of empowerment. What do you think should be our approach, or how should we work so that we can actually empower each other? You know, because we have a debate going on right now in another session which says women do not have it all, what it takes to be on the top. So there's a debate going on. There's one side saying yes, women have it all, whatever it takes to be on the top. And there's another side saying women do not have it all, whatever it takes to be on the top, because women don't chase their goals till the end, they fall by on the side, and a whole host of reasons. What would be your one message to all these women who are sitting over here, to help them stay on course and achieve whatever they want to achieve? What would be that one message? Maybe, watch out for this mistake, or, on the level of dedication or something, or maybe on the level of collaborating with each other. What do you think is that one most important thing that women should have in order to just follow their dreams through? What do you think is that one important quality that women should have?
As you just said, through my experiences, like I have been into interview panels also, I've seen ladies just leave their aims, ambitions, forget about themselves, either when they are married, once married, or immediately after having a kid. Half of the ladies, women staff leaving from offices are women who give birth to children. So these are the two important milestones in a woman's life, which changes her mindset. For the child, or for the hubby, or for the family, they just forget about their goals. In fact, they forget about themselves. That is the time when we have to hold up on ourselves. Now for this, it is not just the woman who matters, it's the whole family. The whole, especially the husband. He has to support her, because it's an emotional moment, leaving your child, going to office. For working women, it's 8 to 10 to 12 hours. So it is not easy. For that, in fact, a woman needs counseling. And I was counseled by my husband when I had my daughter. I was equally fragile and vulnerable. But then that period, if she gets the right support, and if she makes arrangement for right people in right place, it is possible. So aims are something which can be withered with any or anything coming in your life. But if you're strong and if you are sure to achieve something, then nothing can come in between. This is the basic difference between a woman and man, what I feel. A man is determined, no matter what. He'll forget the family, he'll be one-track mind person. We would be the multitaskers. Mujhe ye bhi karna, ye bhi, and everything remains average. It's not that it's bad, but then somewhere we succumb to the environment. But where a lady is very sure that she has to do something, she would come up, one up. It's just the determination which matters, and many other supporting things definitely, but it's only your determination and your desire, the burning, the fire in the belly, that takes you ahead. If it's a man or woman, it's just the fire in the belly and the perseverance.
Can you tell me what time it is? 12:15. Okay, great. We'll have open it to 3 questions to the audience. So please keep it to the topic, getting to know the woman who we have here, very special. So we'll open it. You are from Lahore, Sabiha, and you have a question.
Actually, I don't have any question, but I really appreciate you and the way you talk, and especially if you are a wife of Chief Minister and you are still working. I think it's I will take with me to Pakistan and I will share it with others.
Thank you. That's really nice. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Yes, Raja. Yeah.
Was there any decision that your husband took because you have given him that value addition for him to take a decision, a very important decision as a wife in his career?
Come again.
In his career,
Yeah.
have you given any decision or some value added opinion
Right.
that made a change in his life, in his career, somewhere he did the right thing because you said so?
Yeah. So, did you give any advice to Devenji on any aspect of his life, career, which really became a turning point for him in something that he did? So, she wants to understand your role in guiding him, counseling him at certain critical points in his life and how that helped him.
My husband is a stalwart in politics. He generally needs no advice. In fact, I ask him at times, why did you do a certain thing? And he reasons out. So it is helping me to know politics better. But one thing which I told him once, before he was the CM, he became the state president. And till then, he carried an image that he is the social worker of the party. He doesn't look in for any kind of post or pad. So that time I told him that you let them know that you would be interested in being the state president. That was something I just suggested. And he let his seniors know that he would be interested in working in that post. So that position, being in that position really made a difference. People, others other than the constituency or his own corporators understood that he is a leader. And subsequently he became a CM. It was a suggestion which he just heard.
Good. That was a miracle. That was the miracle, absolutely. Yes.
I can say
Okay, right. Thank you, Vijay.
So Indian politicians, the active ones, are extremely busy all the time, and a lot of their family members and spouses feel like after they become, very active, busy, popular, the family takes a back foot because the time they spend in the family is very limited. So does that whole sense ever, dawn on you? Do you feel like that anytime for the family, for your daughter? Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. And then how do you deal with it? So basically the question is, if you have a spouse who is extremely popular, busy, a politician, how do you deal with that?
Okay, I'll just introduce, that's Deepal Gala from the Times of India from Hyderabad. And her question is really, we know that with you and Devin is so busy and, the crisis of time, because family, bonding, and for the child especially and for you, it must have completely changed after that. Yes, he was busy earlier also because he was there in local politics, but after CM, obviously, you're working till, I know that he's working till like 2:30 at night, and again 5 o'clock in the morning he's back up doing things, and that's a lot of work for the state. So must be leaving. I read somewhere you WhatsApp each other sometimes to just say, okay, kind of convey messages. So how does this work? Like she said, this crisis of time. You deal with it probably, and how do you explain to the child and to the rest of the family, and how do you also deal with it?
Devin has always been workaholic since we got married, and he gave me an idea of his life even before marriage when he used to meet. So that was not a shock for me. I was expecting that. And secondly, still he used to give some time at least before. But after becoming CM, it's topsy-turvy. I mean, he returns home at 2, 3 a.m. and gets up at 7 and just leaves. So, but looking in Maharashtra, the condition, when he took over, condition of Maharashtra was, it was derailed. So many farmer suicides. So much of violence against women. This had to be taken care of. And in front of that, looking after the family really didn't matter that much. That's what I felt. It is his full-time job as a CM to look after the state. And I have reconciled to it. It's kind of a social work he's doing, and indirectly we are saying, Mama, we are just touching, okay? So, and my daughter, I've always explained this to her. It's a part of value education again, that your father is into big tasks. So maybe he might not be able to give you that time, but you have Nani, you have Dadi, you have me on Saturdays, Sundays. And she also understands that. And this needs to be explained to the child that why he is not with them. It's not because of any other thing. It's working for the people. So the child does understand. That helps in the family. Personally, I am reconciled and I'm used to it. And regarding my daughter, she understands because we have regularly told her about what he's doing.
And just to extend that question a little bit, but at the same time, we also see him take out time on maybe Father's Day, or there's a special game at school. He'll take your daughter, to school and spend that day with her when all fathers are there. So how does your daughter enjoy all of that? How does, it's very special. And for all of us looking at that also, on one hand we want to know that there is a crisis of time. We know that he won't be able to spend more time. At the same time, when we are looking the fact that he took out that 4 hours in a day or 2 hours in a day to go to her school and be with her when it really mattered, it touches our hearts. As mothers, as women, it touches our hearts to see that attention, that despite all that work and that the responsibility he has, at the back of his mind, it's sticking, that responsibility that he has towards his daughter, and also the fact that it will mean a lot to the shaping of the mind and the psyche of the child. So, do you tell him to do that, or Divija tells him that, Dad, you must be there for those 2 hours? How does it work?
I shifted to Mumbai with Divija, and since then, for around 20 days, my husband didn't even meet her. Because in the morning she used to go to school, and at night she was already sleeping while he used to come back. So, since there was a Father's Day in her school, I told him that he needs to go to her school because she has not even seen him since last few days. And if he had not been there, that would have had some bad consequences. I mean, the child feels bad that all the fathers are there, only my father is not there. So that was the day when he also understood the cruciality of the thing. So he went immediately. He was there for half an hour in the school, and she really cherishes that moment till now. Those moments till now. So these moments, at least, if they are not, if he is not able to give time, at least such moments, if he tries to capture, that is also enough for her.
Yes. Chloe Domonge. Oh, sorry, sir, you had a question. We'll take Vijayji's question, and then after that, okay, I'll take another question from you.
Sorry,
No problem.
Myself.
Yeah, I'll give you the
okay, you see, don't
No,
give me
we
time.
want to hear you loud.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You've got it? Okay, fine.
Amrutaji, see, I'm a journalist from Delhi, and I had a fortune to meet Venutai Chauhan, Kusumtai Chauhan, Satyashila, Chief Minister's wives, Shalini Tai. I observed all these, great ladies of Maharashtra for the last 40 years, and saw their, kind of contribution to the society also, to the politics of Maharashtra. Shalini Tai also entered into politics in Maharashtra. Now, what do you think? Two questions I have on this. One is that, what do you think? You spoke of the violence against women in Maharashtra. Do you think which is the top question or top problem so far as women of Maharashtra is concerned, number one? And number two, at any time, do you think that you will be joining politics?
I had already anticipated that question and told her. And the answer to that second one she told me is no. So, anyway, I'll leave that to her. I'll introduce you. This is Mr. Vijay Nayak, who's the resident editor of Sakal, your newspaper, the Marathi newspaper that we all know. And he's in Delhi and he's come to support the women's conference here. And so we are very thankful to have you here. So your question is about the topmost problem regarding women in Maharashtra, in the state as well. I'll pass that. And the second question, if you'd like to answer.
I feel that female infanticide and rape cases are the topmost problems existent in Maharashtra or maybe whole of India. And against this, the first part, female infanticide, it needs strong mothers. We all have to create strong mothers, strong parents. That would help in curtailing. And second one is rape cases which are happening. Two or three things would help as deterrence. First, very strong laws, very, very strong, which act as deterrence. Second, there should be immediate actions. Means I've seen cases where nothing has been done by the police for days together. Immediately action by the police. Third, our schools and we ourselves as family, as units. Families need to grow up their children as equals, as individuals, and not girls and boys. Bachpan se you tell your daughter to go into the kitchen and work, and you make your boy go out and play tennis, cricket, everything. Why this? They have to be equals. Both have to be inside the kitchen, both have to go out. And guys should be told by parents, they are the best teachers, and your own educational institutes. If you have this kind of model education, which guy would do it? And poor class guys who are there, poor classes में भी ये बहुत होता है. So in their education also, if moral education is inculcated, that will make a lot of difference. Plus now these deterrents like CCTV cameras and all, in that spark of the moment, that doesn't come to the mind of the deviator. So only thing which helps